So last night, my wife was complaining that I never listened to her. Or it was something like that. So what has 5 toes, but is not your foot? It's my foot! I'm okay. I really am. My wife asked me to pick up 6 cans of Sprite at the store. When I got home, I realized I picked 7 up. If you're ever in a room and you're really, really cold, I mean like freezing, go to the corner. They're usually about 90 degrees.
If you ever spot an albino Dalmatian, I bet they appreciate it.
You've just been assaulted.
So what did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? Aye, matey.
So what do you do with chemists when they die? You bury them. I successfully made a clone. Looks exactly like me. I'm beside myself with excitement. Bigfoot is sometimes confused with Sasquatch. Yet he never complains. A blindfolded man walks into a bar, and then a table, and then a chair. Did you know the flame of a candle actually smells just like burnt nose hairs? Ugh. So why'd the man throw butter out the window? He wanted to see a butterfly. Hey, did you guys hear the rumor about butter? I probably shouldn't spread it. So the other day, my wife asked me for the chapstick. Accidentally gave her the glue stick. She's still not talking to me. So my daughter was complaining about something. So I asked her, hey, do you want some cheese? I've always heard it goes good with wine.
So what do you call a chicken looking at a bowl of lettuce? Chicken sees a salad.
So my wife asked me to clear the dining room table. I made it. It wasn't easy. Good thing I was a hurdler in college. You ever notice when you eat at a restaurant and they're serving seafood, they might give you halibut or tuna or salmon or cod, but never clownfish? Must taste funny.
If cannibals show up late for dinner, I bet they get the cold shoulder.
So I'm pretty sure you've heard of Murphy's Law. You know, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. But have you heard of Cole's Law? Well, it's julienne cabbage in a creamy dressing. I've been bald for years, but I still keep my comb. Can't part with it. Communist jokes aren't funny, unless everyone gets them. You know, if I told you a coronavirus joke today, it'd take 2 weeks before you even knew if you got it. So there's 3 kinds of people in the world. Those that can count, and those that cannot.
So you know what the opposite of defeat is? Da hands.
So do you know why the Dark Ages were called the Dark Ages? Because there were a lot of nights.
You know, if I had a DeLorean, I'd drive it from time to time.
I hate it when people talk behind my back. They disgust me. If it's the early bird that gets the worm, shouldn't you just sleep until there's pancakes? This will be a real crack up. I ordered a chicken and an egg simultaneously online. I will keep you posted. So do you know why some elephants paint their toenails red? It's so they can hide in cherry trees. Have you ever seen an elephant hiding in a cherry tree? See, it works.
So how do you get down from an elephant? You don't. You get down from a duck.
So many of you know I just don't like elevators. I don't like them. I've even taken steps to avoid them. So what starts with an E and ends with an E and has only one letter in it? An envelope. And what stays in the corner but goes all over the world? That's a stamp.
You know, Albert Einstein was a genius. But his brother Frank? A monster.
So it's likely that only a fraction of you will even get this joke. But there is a fine line between a numerator and a denominator.
We interrupt this program to let you know that Finland has officially closed its borders. This means that no one will be crossing the finish line.
So why were the Indians the first to arrive at the very first Thanksgiving? They had reservations. So what do you call a fish with a missing eye? I think you pronounce it. Yeah, it's. Boom. So what happens to a ghost when he gets lost in the fog? He's missed.
The doctor told me I was going deaf. That news was hard to hear. I'll do calculus and statistics. I'll even do trigonometry. But graphing, that's where I draw the line.
No, I didn't get a haircut. I got all of them cut. Hey, before you criticize someone, walk a mile in their shoes. That way, when you do criticize them, you'll be a mile away, and you'll have their shoes.
I tried to get a job as a human cannonball, but they were looking for a man of a different caliber.
Some people say that icy is the easiest word to spell. I see why. So how many children does the Invisible Man have? None! He's not a parent. And if he did meet an invisible woman and they did have a kid, it'd likely be nothing to look at. So will invisible airplanes ever be a thing? I just can't see them taking off.
So my wife, she asked me to put ketchup on the shopping list. And now she's all upset. She says she can't read it.
You likely didn't know this, but when you turn 18, your body stops using its kidneys. And then it begins using its adult knees.
I lost my job at the lawn mowing company. I just wasn't cutting it.
There was a line at the Lego store. It went on for blocks. I just rented a limo, but it didn't come with a driver. All that money, nothing to show for it. Did you hear about the two ships that collided? One was carrying purple paint, the other was carrying brown paint. All survivors were marooned. So how do you make a fire with two sticks? You make sure that one of them is a match.
If you ever get kidnapped by mimes, I bet they do unspeakable things to you.
You know, working in a mirror factory is something I could totally see myself doing. Did you hear about the monk who refused Novocaine during a root canal? His goal? Transcendental medication. You know how you can tell if a monster is male or female? You give them a sandwich. And if he eats the sandwich, you know it's a male. And if she eats the sandwich, then you know it's a female.
One of my daughters is a whole lot like a newspaper. There's a new issue every day. Well, yesterday I was so bored I memorized 6 pages in the dictionary. I learned next to nothing.
So what do you call a deer with no eyes? No-eyed deer. What do you call a deer with no legs or no eyes? Still, no-eyed deer.
Some people say they picked their nose. But I was born with mine. I won't go to a nude beach. I guess you could call me closed-minded. Do you know what's odd? Every other number. So why'd the sea monster eat 5 ships carrying potatoes? Because you can't eat just one potato chip. So how many optometrists does it take to screw in a light bulb? Is it 1 or 2? 2 or 3? 3 or 4?
So you know what you call a paper airplane that can't fly? Stationary. Whatever you do, don't spell the word part backwards. It's a trap.
When you dream in color, is that a pigment of your imagination? So if April showers bring Mayflowers, what do Mayflowers bring? Pilgrims.
So what's a pirate's favorite letter? You probably think it's R, but you'd be wrong. It'd be the C.
I saw a math professor walk by with some graph paper. He must be plotting something.
Is poaching eggs illegal? Or is that an exception?
Oh, trying to write with a broken pencil? It's pointless.
I got called pretty today. Actually, it was pretty annoying, but I'm only focusing on the positive.
I got it. If you take the circumference of a jack-o'-lantern and you divide it by its diameter, you get pumpkin pie.
You'll never see someone run through a campground. It'd have to be ran. It's past tense.
So what's red and smells like blue paint? Red paint. I've got plenty of jokes about retired people, but none of them work. I don't drink alcohol, so this has me a bit concerned. But if you take root beer and you pour it into a square glass, do you get beer?
If you think Wednesdays are depressing, wait 3 days. It's a Saturday.
Did you hear about the guy who survived not only mustard gas, but pepper spray? He's now a seasoned veteran. You know what was more useful than the invention of the telephone? The second telephone. So why is it that some fish live in salt water? Because pepper would make them sneeze. I was wondering what the odds would be of me getting shot by a sniper. I think it'd be a long shot. Can't see it happening. Probably should focus my sights on something less morbid. You know what's all brown and sticky? A stick.
I guess I'm going to sign up for a woodworking class. My doctor asked for a stool sample.
So what did the accountant say while conducting an audit? This is taxing. I just saw ants in the house. There were 10 of them. I guess that makes me a landlord, and those must be my tenants. So why'd the man fall down the well? Because he couldn't see that well.
My wife, she left me because I'm too insecure. Oh wait, she just went to get the mail.
In ancient Egypt, what did King Akhenaten and Nefertiti say when they both simultaneously farted? We have a Tutankhamun. You know what a dentist calls an x-ray? Toothpick. So why'd the toilet paper roll down the hill? To get to the bottom. So why did the turkey cross the road? To prove that he wasn't chicken. So when you have a bladder infection, you're in trouble. What did one wall say to the other wall? See you at the corner. To the guy who invented zero, thanks for nothing. So you're absolutely going to love this cliffhanger joke.